Good afternoon. I'm Rick Minner back here with you. We're trying to show you some of our old-time logging equipment. And the little backstory on it, in the early days of logging around here, people used mules and horses to pull the logs out of the woods. Matter of fact, when this place was logged in the early 1960s, Hence Pollard, the guy that co-founded Sonora Raceway, logged it, and he had mules. He pulled the logs out of the woods down there with him. You know, when mules or horses come up on a snag or something, they'll stop walking. But when people started trying to use farm tractors to pull them out, when the front of the log would hit a other stump or some kind of snag, the tractor's going to keep pulling. What it did, it reared the front end up, and there's a lot of people, even in our county, lost their lives and lost limbs due to that. So they started creating these homemade devices. This log carriage, I guess you'd call it, was made by the Lee family, and Wilbur and Freddie Lee, the longtime exhibitors at our show, donated this. And it's all home built. It's really ingenious how it works. I'll try to show you here. I'll stand out of the way. You've got a chain wrapped on this bar right here that goes down. You fasten it to the log, and then you use a pry bar, but you can pull this. Let me see. You put this up, and this piece here is like a catch. Every time you get a notch, this piece, you can see it's spring loaded, and it catches these notches here. So as you go up, it reels the chain up. Of course, when you got a log on it, you use a piece of pipe to give you some leverage. And we're going to hook this up and tighten up the log and show you how it works. All right, we got the log hooked up here with the chain. I already had the chain around the log here. And we're going to see how I can do with a piece of pipe here, see if we can lift this log. Now you can see down here, I'll move the camera and show you, we got the log safely off the ground so we can pull it. I'll try to get the camera around and show you that. So now if you're dragging through the woods there, you're not going to be hitting anything with it. Pretty safe way to get them out of the woods here. Now we'll try to fire the tractor up, see if we can move it just a little ways. This is an H Farmall tractor we're using here, by the way. And that's what a lot of folks logged with back in the day. This is a 40s model tractor, right in the era that this log cart and the winch you're going to show you later would have been used. Hope the tractor doesn't let me down here. Cranked up good a little bit ago. That was my tractor's finest hour there. Well, other than a little slow start on the tractor, I thought that worked out pretty good. We're going to unhook this, and then we're going to go do the logging winch on the other side here. I'm going to show you how you let this log down. I should have thought about that earlier. You have to let it down a notch at a time, kind of like using old-time fence come along. And this needs a stiffer shot piece of bolt or something in this bolt here. We don't have to keep putting your hand on it, but you just basically take the weight off, pull this back with your hand, let it down one notch, and rinse and repeat until you get it on the ground, which is essentially where we are right now. All right, we're going to take this loose and then swap to the other side. All right, this is an old logging winch here, and we got it from our friend Steve Watkins from up at Jefferson. He brought it down here years ago, and for a long time we didn't ever use it, and it got stuck, but we got it freed up. And basically it's got a power takeoff shaft that runs to a tractor, and then you pull the cable out, just take it out of gear right here, and pull the cable out, then start the tractor up, and it'll reel that cable back in, and as it does, it drags the log back in. This would have been used when you had logs in a pretty steep place to pull out of where tractors weren't practical. And I've even heard of people using these like to pull a boat out of the water. But appreciate Steve letting us have this thing, and it, like I say, I wouldn't want to get my fingers anywhere close to these gears, but it works really good for its age and the way it was built. So we're going to hook it up to the same log we moved a while ago, and hopefully the old Super M bar malt here will fire off, and we'll drag it back up here for you. All right, we had the cable got kind of stiff, so we had to use a tractor to pull it out, but we're going to give it a try here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in gear and then crank up this Super M farm all and see if it'll do like it's supposed to do. All right, we should be in gear. We got to turn the gas on. That's typical for me. Here we go, hope this works. Let me see if I can get that a higher gear. Let's see if this will do a little faster. That's more like it there. Well, I thought that was a successful outing there. Before I let you go, I want to go do a little walk around the pulpwood truck. We had a YouTube viewer ask for that, and we'll want to do that right quick and be right back with you. Well, here's the walk around of the pulpwood truck as promised. One thing's interesting, the last tag on it's 1990, and if my math's right, that means it's probably been sitting longer than it was run, for sure, back in the day. But we explained to you before about how this lift worked, but I'll show you just one real quick right here. If Joanne will come up here and we'll point out how our stuff works here. There's probably off a small car, I would think, the rear end, that the shaft comes up from the PTO on the transmission to this rear end. There's a brake drum. There's a drum that rides the cable up. If you come around here, I'll show you the master cylinder. It's just a common one off of a small vehicle, like 1 ton or half ton. Right here where that actuates the lifting mechanism. Come on up here, we'll take a look at the truck here. We got a running board on one side, not on the other. I'm assuming that got lost in the woods getting pulpwood. The inside is pretty common for an old truck like this. We got a homemade shifter for the right here for the PTO for the log winch. It's actually got a 2-speed rear end. You shift that on the go. The serial number here indicates a 62 model, and there's a letter A comes up there, which means Atlanta Assembly Plant. So that's maybe 30 miles from here where this truck was built, so it had never gotten very far from home. And I'll show you around here on the front. If any of y'all collect these early 60s pickup trucks, usually they have this part of the grill is usually a mess. This one's just about perfect. And even the top of the hood is really nice. All this stuff's really nice for a pickup truck that's been used in the woods. It's got the old trusty 6-cylinder engine in it. I'll take the camera from Joanne to show you over here. 235, runs slick as a button. Great engine. Walmart battery. This thing runs really good. Yes, we had some kind of rough life in the woods. These fenders are showing the thing, and probably, like I say, probably that running board was knocked off. But all in all, it's a great old truck. We hope y'all got as much enjoyment out of watching this video as we did out of making it. We're trying really hard to produce some videos that are worthwhile and help y'all learn about what we're doing here at Inman Farm Heritage Days. If you like it, if you don't mind, help us out, click that like button and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on the next time.